Welcome to No Such Thing as Normal podcast with Natalie Hayes and Jess McKeown.
This is a casual podcast where we talk about all the things you're not supposed to talk about in order to help you normalize your real life, because really we're all just a bunch of weirdos having a completely human experience in a society that asks us to pretend like we're not.
And I'm your host, Jess, a gifted spirit baby medium who facilitates deep soul healing by channeling divine messages.
And I'm your other host, Natalie, and I am a trauma-informed, intuitive mindset and manifestation coach.
Be sure to subscribe where you listen to podcasts, watch our 100% unedited episodes on YouTube, and you can also follow us on IG at No Such Thing as Normal Pod for more weirdo and woo content.
And if you liked this episode and you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please be sure to rate and review so that more people can unleash their weird with you. Apparently, you can only rate and review on Apple Podcasts. I found that out with this giveaway like last week.
Which we will be announcing.
Yes, which will be announced at the end. So stick around to the end of the episode.
Dun, dun, dun. That's my favorite sound.
You're making it sound like a punishment.
Oh, I mean, more like excitement building.
Yes.
You know, like who's going to win? Is it going to be you? Because we have so many people who have entered the giveaway.
I love it. I'm so excited for all the new listens. Actually, we have 193 plays now on our podcast. Yeah. So celebrating that. That's exciting.
That is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been so fun. I love still getting the text messages and little hellos about, like you guys listening to us while you're walking around, the lake or doing your chores or just kind of hanging out or watching us on YouTube. So it's really fun. We want you to feel like a part of this. And we've been kind of thinking about maybe some Q&A if there's things you want to know about us or the weird things we experience. So kind of stay tuned for that, because I'm curious to know what you guys want to know about us and our weird experiences.
I know, me too. I'm excited that we're going to do that Q&A in like a few weeks. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Start thinking of your questions now. Write them down.
Okay. I'm so excited to talk about this today.
I know.
This topic is taboo, but it's coming out in the media. Can you guess what it is?
I know. I'm like, what? I only have one sound effect. Dun, dun, dun.
I know. We need some sound effects.
Do, 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 do.
Yes. We are talking about aliens.
Aliens. Oh my God. My favorite topic.
Seriously.
This is my favorite because I have always loved aliens and it has been taboo. And now to be able to talk about it so freely is just lovely.
It's so lovely. I'm so excited. I don't know if I said this in a prior episode, but I was not into the alien thing until like earlier this year.
Oh, okay. I would go outside when I was little and be like, take me, be me, take me. I want to be taken, literally. And I would be like, how do I get taken? Do I need to move to Kansas and own a farm?
Is there a list I can sign up for?
I was like, probably the probing will be like a hard thing to get through, but to meet aliens would be like the coolest ever. And I've watched every single documentary on alien abductions and aliens and Roswell, and just have been obsessed with them for a long time and have always believed that they're real. Like for you to think that we're the only people in this whole wide world, galaxy, universe. Come on. That's a bit much.
Yeah, that's called narcissism. It's diagnosable.
So if you don't believe in aliens,
you might be a narcissist. Yeah,
you might be a narcissist. But yes, I watch the X-Files, right? Like it's kind of cool because I am a true 90s baby. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants some tips about how to do the 90s in this 2021, let me know. But it was exciting. There was not stuff like that on TV, you guys. There was not cool alien stuff back then. There was always like weird alien stuff. My dad has always shown me like Alien and the Pod People movies. And I've always been like, that's really cool. And then you overlay like the government and what they know about aliens and what they've released about aliens. And like, come on.
I know. The government is so shady. Like it
Why?
really opened my eyes if you want to dive into extraterrestrials more. There is actually a guy out there putting out a shit ton of information, and he has an app, and you can do meetups for like contact. His name is Dr. Stephen Greer.
Yes.
He seems like somebody I could definitely be friends with, but he actually works with the government. Like he
Yeah.
has been briefing all of the presidents on contact with aliens since like Bill Clinton, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was a part of their cabinet, and like this is how we make contact. No, they don't want to kill us. They would have already done that. They're actually really nice. But he has these documentaries out. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and his
Yes.
app is the CE5 app, and he teaches you in the app like how to do the meditation to contact. And then he has this other documentary called Undisclosed or Unacknowledged.
Yes.
Unacknowledged. It is incredible.
Yes.
I will say that. So check it out. Definitely check out those. I think they're on Amazon Prime.
Yes, they're on Amazon Prime. Get your movie nights together, get your
Yes.
weirdos together. I had friends that have messaged me and be like, let's do this meditation. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I've got my little chair and my blanket, and I want to go out there and get some messages, because I agree. If they wanted to obliterate us, is that a word?
Obliterate
Yeah,
us.
they could do it.
They
And
could.
they haven't. I think they're really here to help us. I think they're really here to help us be like, hey, you guys, there's other evolutions and there's more possibilities out there.
I know. In like one of those documentaries or whatever, he like shows photos from his CE5 meetups, which we could like turn a podcast meetup into a CE5 meetup. Like get everybody together and go contact some aliens.
Please let us know if you want to come contact
Yeah,
aliens with us
let us know. I'm
somewhere
we're
in the
gonna
Colorado night sky.
we're gonna do it regardless.
Natalie and I will be there with our flashlights and our hot cocoa and thermoses. So come with
Yes.
us.
But he has like these ex-military like higher ups, people with really high security clearances on, and he like talks to them about what they've seen. And this one guy I like vividly remember said that they were testing out nuclear weapons, and they shot one up in the sky, and like 4 UFOs came in and shot it down. So it's like they're actually trying to stop us from killing ourselves. It sounds like.
Yeah, I know. And then like I've watched, now like I'm getting excited because I've been down so many YouTube holes on this, but like the guy who like recreated in drawings, like how the spaceships work, and how, if you know about like science and quantum and all this kind of stuff, how it would like push the energy field and that would create momentum, and how that's how it could move like up, down, like, whoa, that's so cool. And that's using our own physics because they're in our atmosphere. Like, whoa.
I know.
Incredible. So if like you like science, come on over.
So we'll be there hunting aliens.
Yeah. And I like, when I lived in Nevada too, I remember like, I have like funny stories. This woman gave me this book. Don't know how I met this woman. Can't really remember, but she's like, I used to work at a place, and here's this book with all this information about the aliens. They are real. They are this, and I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then it was like a whole book about like Roswell and the experiments and everything. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so real. Like, this is so cool. Like, I was just excited. I don't know, because I feel like I'm an alien.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about who they really are.
Okay. I love this question.
Spoiler alert. Everybody is an alien. Like humans were not the first beings. And a lot of the times in the, when I go in the Akashic records for people, their star families, which is what they like to be called, will step forward because we all have like alien DNA, essentially.
Yeah. I'm Arcturian.
Yeah, I am Syrian and Pleiadian, from what I've gathered.
I've also lived a life in Lemuria.
Oh, so that was here though. That was on.
Yeah, but like you said, like earlier incarnations, since we're all aliens, like people have been here before. So yes, we are all foreign creatures.
I know. And then I've heard that, word on the street is that in Egyptian hieroglyphics, like all of the really tall, they depict all of these super tall beings, that those were actually Anunnaki ETs.
Oh yeah.
And they treated them like gods because they gave them all of their technology.
Oh yeah. Oh, Egypt. Oh my
Oh,
God.
all about
I
aliens.
love channeling Egypt's people who have like Egyptian lives or Egyptian powers. Like I don't have a lot of that in the work that I do, but when I see people, it's fascinating to me and it's so cool. Working with Isis, talking to her, amazing. I do have a connection with her because of Mary Magdalene.
Yeah.
I probably should go like hit up Isis and be like, "What's up, girl? How you doing? Let's have a chat."
Tell me about
But
the
like,
sands.
tell me about these aliens. But yes, so exciting. I have seen aliens like that, tall,
Mhm.
long fingers, very ethereal looking. How much do you think what we've seen depicted in the media, though, like kind of shapes that? Like, what came first, the grays or the depiction of the grays, like the little green men? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy how I have also seen aliens that look like that.
Right. Yeah. They all, I mean, I think they all, as I've seen, and by seen, I mean like in my
Third eye
records, in
scene.
my
Yeah.
mind's eye.
Yeah.
See, not see.
I haven't seen one in real life. Anytime you guys want to come down, though, I'm willing.
I'm so here for it.
I'll give you a snack.
I did actually see one in real life. Hold up. Okay. So my wife has a really great abduction story. I'll tell you about it. So when I was like going into my records and like doing it on my own for the first time after learning how to go into them and getting these like attunements to the energy or whatever, these like alien beings would come forward. And one night I was having a dream and my like arm, I was like half awake, half asleep, you know, when you wake up in the
Ooh.
middle of the night, but you don't want to like fully wake up.
Yeah.
So I had my hand like outside the covers, and then I saw a being with 3 fingers like touch my hand. And then I looked down and there was like a footprint on the outside of my bed, like in the carpet. And I know I wasn't dreaming. Like I felt that hand. Turns out it was the Arcturians. They're super friendly and polite. He was probably just shaking my hand. They show up in like so many different ways.
Don't be creeped out if an alien gently caresses you.
It's a nice gesture.
They're friendly. They are friendly though. Like they're so healing. I too have had like crazy experiences with aliens and healing. And even though what they showed me when I was experiencing was crazy and like, you know, black stuff was coming out of my body, I felt so safe. And now, like anytime I need a healing, they kind of have told me a ship is above you at all times. Just call yourself into the ship if you want to work on your other bodies, or if you want physical healing, just download it. And so sometimes I'll just be like, I can have physical healing on this today, and I'll just sit there and then I'll feel them, and then boom, away they go with their healing. It's rad.
It's so
I don't know
cool.
how I got to receive it though.
You like through your mediumship work and stuff, you've been acquainted with higher frequencies. And that's the thing when working with ETs, like sometimes they come in so strong and you might have like head pressure or ear ringing or something because like their frequency is so different, which is why we don't see them with our eyes walking around on Earth. So the people who have good luck communicating with them or are more easily able to tap in and go to the ship, it's because you are essentially astral traveling while you're still awake. You're like traveling to these other dimensions, higher dimensions of consciousness. So work with those if you want to talk to aliens. It's not like they come down to the 3D world. Like that's not always the case. I think it's hard for them to come through to like this. It's this 3D energy. It's super dense. So they're like, you have to tap into those like 5D and up to really have contact.
Yeah. And I think that's a good way to describe it. It is sort of like an astral projection. I do feel like a layer of me, and I can almost kind of see it or feel it kind of goes up there. I'm still here on Earth, but I am like tethered or anchored is the feeling I get. I'm not really like moving so much in my body. Like it's kind of trippy in that sense. The sort of movement and the animation of my body is elsewhere. But I love it. It's so nice. It feels so good. It's like, if you've ever been like hypnotized or you've ever been in like certain places where you're just so relaxed. Oh, so good.
I know. And their healing is not, it's like, it's energy healing.
Yeah.
It's energy healing.
Yeah. But I mean, it's very like powerful, I find, and very, loving and just very, I don't know. There's no like, it's almost like this is what we do for each other. You know, when somebody is sick or needs help, you know, this is what we do. Yeah.
So
I'm
how
feeling very like, oh, about my
they're so
aliens.
loving. I know everybody has like star families and star guides. You just have to like
Yeah.
want to meet them. But how did you like, can you remember how or when you got introduced to extraterrestrials?
I mean, besides my early obsession.
Besides that, okay, so I guess since conception.
But like I would say, I had this Reiki done by this really lovely woman named Stephanie Hunter Dines, and I'll put her info in because she's a lovely Reiki master. And in that experience, I felt these, like a couple of days later, I was doing my meditation and I felt these beings. And I really felt like whatever happened in that Reiki session just kind of like attuned me or opened me up to something. I was just laying there in my meditation, and sure as shit, these like blue aliens with long fingers come up. And I was like, well, I didn't make that up. Like that's really unique. Cause I am just like, I wasn't like kind of asking for it or even like calling them in. They just kind of showed up, which happens to me a lot, by the way. And it's always shocking to me. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Oh, is my energy like so bright today?
Too open.
And they offered me a healing. And that was the healing that they did. They cut me open on the side, my side body. And there's 3 of them, 2 tall ones and a little one, like a little, almost like childlike one that looked a little bit different. The tall ones were blue with like long etheric fingers, like long, like that. And they took a bunch of everything that came out of me was like this black gunk stuff. And then the little one went around and like sewed me up all around the edges. And it was just very peaceful and very loving. And then like 2 days later, they came again in meditation and like did some more work. And then I haven't really like seen them in that level since. It's just more like a energetic, like they're like, hey, come back anytime, like here's how you access us now. But I kind of like miss seeing them. Now they're showing up. They're like, hi, we're here. But like I liked that energy, and it really actually helped me like move through some stuff, and was able to like communicate some stuff and move through a big heaviness in my life at that time. But that I would say was my that was only maybe a year ago or so, not that long ago. And then since then, I've like, when I've done work with other healers, I've gone up and I've seen kind of like the darker side, which is sometimes like the darker alien attacks or the darker entity beings, and have worked some with those, and they are very ugly and horrible and scary and yucky energy. And I just went up there and there was a bubble force field between us. And I just said, what's up with you? Why are you coming at my friend like this? And they were just like gross teeth and all this kind of stuff. And I just said, bye. And I just like went back down to the energetic group that I was working with. But yeah, so some of them aren't very pleasant is what I found. But for the most part, what I call them is like the helpful beings, right? Are just lovely.
They really are.
What about you? How did you get introduced?
So I have this friend who's like always been into them. I love her so much. And then we took a retreat down to Sedona. Right before the pandemic happened. It's like we went to Sedona, and then as we were coming home, the world was completely different. Like it was a totally different place. We were in this bubble. But one of the retreat leaders I went with, it was a Your Own Magic retreat. So Raquel was hosting the retreat, and she was co-hosting it with Bree Melanson, and Bree channels. So she like in-body channeled the Arcturians, and like it was just so eye-opening to me. Like, yeah, I've like thought about them, but I never thought about them as in my sphere of awareness. Like, oh yeah, they're around, but like not for me. Turns out they're for me.
Yeah.
And so like after I saw her in-body channel, I was like, okay, well maybe it's like I feel safer like initiating that contact or whatever. So I bought a Kindle book from the 90s called Bringers of the Dawn. And it's this lady who in-body channeled Pleiadians. Highly recommend if you want, like highly recommend that book. I really like it, even though it's a little bit outdated, but it was so good. And then I worked with my Akashic mentor, and in the records met my star family and all of this. And then all of this stuff happened, and then Jenna got abducted, and here we are.
Yada, yada, yada. You can't yada. And then Jenna got abducted. Okay. So I would say the same thing too. I had heard of the Arcturians like on the spiritual pathway and kind of been like, yeah, what's that? And then actually, so after that, the the blue aliens is what I call them. You should see my Google searches. I was like, blue aliens, long fingers. Oh my God. Right. And
The CIA's got you tapped.
I was like, what, who are these people? And then I had a session with, an intuitive, and she was like, oh, these are the Arcturians and this is your family. And Jesus was an Arcturian. He's in that lineage, which just makes sense because he's one of my guides. So I was like, okay, but that, it's like when you get things on your spiritual pathway, you're like, okay, Arcturian, I'm just going to put you over here and I'll go explore you in a hot minute. But there's so many things I'm interested in, but yeah, I should probably like learn a bit more about the Arcturians. And yeah,
they're so polite.
They're helpful.
Experience.
And they're a lot about like technology, which makes sense, right? They want to use technology and they want to help people use technology. And same thing with Lemuria. I think what's coded in the crystals is how the technology was misused. And I feel this big responsibility to use technology in a healthy way for awakening, because you can't deny it. Like technology it's so amazing. Like we be able to do this right now. You're in Colorado, I'm in Seattle. Like we get to, I gave you a state and me a city. I don't know why. Like Colorado is just like Colorado.
Yeah.
It's like those Western middle states, and you're just like, yeah, it's a West Coast thing. But no, it's like, we are able to do this. We're able to like, channel and share stuff and get so much information. And so I think it's helpful. And I want to continue that legacy and do something with communications and technology and spirituality. So yeah, serving my star family proud.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of an alien Elon Musk is, because A, he definitely is. B of all, they say that Nikola Tesla was also an alien because he had all of these like the Tesla coil, like way before his time technologies that he was like bringing down from this other level of consciousness.
Yes.
So what do they want, Jess? What do they want?
What do the aliens want?
Yeah, what do the aliens want with us?
Yeah, why do they keep visiting? They're trying to prevent us from blowing ourselves up. Okay. They're trying to help us realize that if we don't do something, we're going to lose this planet Earth and we're going to create a bunch of, destructions and fires and floods and all that kind of stuff. We are like the babies of the universe and they are way far advanced. They've learned how to be kind and loving and generous and make sure that everyone is okay in their society. And then they can lift up. You guys, if we don't take care of everybody in our planet and our society, we're going to be here for a long time. That's what they're kind of trying to help us with, is this evolution of the human race. That's how I feel. And then they're also here to abduct us. So I think with the abduction, it's actually probably to like learn more about us in terms of like how far are we on our cellular development? How far do we have to go in terms of our transformation, and what can they do to help us?
Yeah. What I've been told about abductions, if you ever Google abduction marks, you should, because like people get marks on their back from after they've been abducted. And this is, I think, where the probing comes into play. But I have been told that you get abducted because, I guess I'll say there's two kinds of abductions. When you actually get abducted by a higher being, not by our government, then it's like they're taking a soil sample of like your DNA.
Yeah.
When Jenna got abducted, she got healed. She got a healing. But a lot of, I think the abductions is just like, it's like scientific matter that they're just like collecting data. I think you're right. But there's also that other realm of abductions that is not pleasant, that is the cow mutilation, that is, hypersexual encounters. I have heard, and I think Dr. Stephen Greer has even said like that's actually our government inducing fear by way of abductions.
Via the aliens?
No, via ships that they have created that look like the alien ships that have crashed here. So like there's this whole theory out there that what's coming in order to unite us all together on one cause is a fake alien invasion. There's like this Project Bluebeam that you can look into where all of this holograph technology has been created.
Ooh,
our government also has these like ships that they have created. So they're going to come in and like essentially kill their own people to unite us in fear against this invader.
Oh yeah. Those cute little TikTok trends where you can like put your mouth over somebody and sing about the wop, wop, wop. Well, hello. that technology is going to get even better. And Natalie can be sitting there and I can be controlling her mouth. And so then Natalie becomes an alien, and then we can say things, and it can be bad, distorted video because aliens. Why, by the way, do we never have good footage of aliens? That's a side note. We need to get better footage of these guys. Okay.
They're too
Get
high
better
dimensional.
cameras.
They're
Get
too
better-
high dimensional.
Get your better. Everybody's like, I think that's so funny. People are like, why isn't that good footage? I'm like, if you're worried about the quality of the footage, then we can't talk.
You're a narcissist.
Yeah. You're a narcissist. No, but okay. I can see that. I can see our government being sneaky like that and instilling that fear. But here's the thing. Did we unite over COVID as a global society? Not so well. And that was a real, global attack.
Polarized. Yeah.
I feel like if we have a space war, and that is what was mentioned in that movie, and I could totally see that coming. No, thank you. No.
I'm just going to opt out of that timeline, please. Thanks.
I think we're going to start sharing like the alien love message and be like, aliens are amazing.
And they like want to come visit you. Like they want to be in contact to kind of dispel these fears and these myths and this like shadow agenda about them. Like, no, they're really here to help us not kill ourselves and heal you. And I do want to tell Jenna's story. I think she wouldn't care if I tell it. Okay. So we were like going to sleep one night. It was just a normal night, nothing weird about it. Normal night. And she like gets sometimes really restless or whatever. So she's like, for some reason, I just had to go sleep in the guest room. Like I could not fall asleep. I was uncomfortable. So she like gets out of bed, goes sleeps in the guest room. I have no idea that she's gone. Right. And she said she was in the guest room and trying to fall asleep and couldn't unless she was laying on her stomach, which she has like back problems. She does not lay on her stomach to sleep. So she went, and immediately when she flipped over on her stomach, she said she got like in this half sleep, half awake state and was beamed up to a ship. And they're Arcturians. And she said vividly, she was like laying on this table and they were taking her spine out like slice by slice. And they would take out a slice and then do this work on it, put it back, take out the next slice, do this work on it and put it back. And she woke up at like 4 a.m. She works in pre-op, so she gets up super early anyway, but she never wakes up with energy. She woke me up at 4:30 in the morning because she had so much energy and she felt so good. And later she had a session she has an energetic healer and she had a session with her and she was like, yeah, you got abducted because you're Arcturian and those were Arcturians. And yeah, they were healing your back. I'm like, she really hasn't had back problems since.
Totally normal.
Oh, so normal. Yeah, like I said, we're not here to be normal, guys. I'm not going to pretend.
Haven't you been abducted and had your back pains healed by your Starseed family? No?
Not yet. I know.
They're coming. They're coming.
We told my parents about it because they were coming to visit. And my dad was like, well, I need to sleep in the guest room, obviously. Like
your dad's like taking me. I want to sleep in the guest room.
Fix my back. Fix my back.
Like, honestly, I'm like jealous hearing that story.
I know, like, of course it would happen to Jenna, who like doesn't practice her mediumship abilities, doesn't read for other people, but she's still like super powerful. And she's like, yeah, I got abducted last night.
They're like, Jenna, come on, do this. We have a joke because Jenna, Natalie's lovely wife, has all these crazy experiences and she's so nonchalant about them. And I'm so just like, chill. Jenna, how is that not a thing for you?
She's so chill about it.
She's like, anyway, so my back's great. And
you feel great.
Awesome. I love that. Well, I mean, there has been like scary abduction stories, right? You do hear that and people feel like, disoriented. So I get that, people, but that's probably what's been mostly in the atmosphere. And I think more stories of like healing and getting like love and all that kind of stuff and, curiosity and wanting them to be, nice needs to get out there too. And we are happy to like put that out there.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about like how to communicate that with them. Like if you're just getting started, if you kind of are curious about it and want to communicate in like a safer way, like higher vibe, love and light, all that bullshit. So I think when you're first starting to communicate with aliens, I was told that they come in at such a high frequency that it can kind of wreak havoc on your energetic body because you haven't maybe gotten attuned to that higher level of communicating or being. So you can like place in your mind's eye, not physically, but in your mind's eye, place like a filter over yourself and just say like, this filter is with the intention to like allow me to foster communication with ETs, higher dimensional beings. Like, but putting that filter in place actually really helped. And when I was reading that book, Bringers of the Dawn, before I had done all this work in the records and I wasn't attuned to their frequency, I would get headaches reading the book because like the words were channeled straight from the Pleiadians. So like, I would, in my mind's eye, like sit and put this filter over myself. And then like, I was great. It was a piece of cake. That's my tip for communicating. Put a filter on.
I'm imagining you like putting a coffee filter.
I'm like,
isn't it so
in my mind?
It's the new bucket hat, you guys. It's the new bucket hat.
Yes, put a bucket hat filter for the aliens. It looks like chainmail, you know, like old armor. Like that's kind of energetically what it's like, a crystalline chainmail.
I love hearing what they vision the things look like. Cause I'm like, ooh, because I always get ideas. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. But like putting a filter on is great. I did not know that. I don't have any training in talking to the aliens. Like I said, sometimes they just kind of come in, and my most like potent experience of that was Metatron. And I guess we could put him in the angelic realm, but he kind of exists in a lot of other realms is what I would like to say about him. And he put me into a meditative seat. Like I literally just started folding my legs in and kind of felt this like beaming thing. And they're like, okay, like we're going to like change your energy so you can talk to him. Hold on a second, you know? And it was, and I felt this like warmth and this shaking and all this kind of stuff. And then it was like, he was channeling and talking like so much. And I was just like, I had to channel this the next day for a group. And I was like, how am I going to remember all this? He's like, it's all inside of you. It's all stored. It's fine. Yeah. They're just like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You're a cute little human brain asking questions. And I was like, all right. And then sure enough, the next day I was like, here we go, you know, and then he came through and his meditations came through. So that was trippy. I have experienced that. And I would say too, like, I always like to be in like a receiving state. I always like to set up my boundaries, my protections, you know, call in my own guides. One of the things that I've learned in shamanism too is just to ask, you know, is this for me? Right. You know, especially when you like contact, if you're just kind of opening up, is this for me? Can you show me a couple of different ways, you know, get that. It's like building a relationship, you know, like you can meet any guy in a bar and they can tell you things and you can be like, oh my God, you know, or you can be like, who the fuck are you? You know, like feel free to ask questions and get clarification. And I always like to ask that, like, is this for me? Because I didn't realize you could experience things when you're seeing that aren't necessarily for you, but you could see other things. And then I have my Moldavite, which I love this little piece. It looks like a Mike and Ike, like a piece of candy. And I like to, like, that is a pretty like fun one because it's from outer space. So I like to work with that, or any other kind of energies that, you know, or pieces or crystals or meteorites, things like that you can have pieces of just to connect with outer space energy. That's always fun for me to kind of get out of the atmosphere. My guides are funny today. That's what I like to do. And I've been pairing it with smoky quartz just for grounding so that that's my tethering, because when I hold Moldavite, I just shoot off into space. And then I'm like, how do I get back? Oh no. Because it's really fun to be in space. Like you really are buoyant and it's so fascinating. I could spend all day up there.
I know, it's wild up there.
Yeah.
I guess like angels are technically aliens.
Yeah.
They're 12D, right? 12D beings, 12th dimension frequencies. Pretty sure.
I don't know all the dimensions. That's cool.
Pretty sure. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Don't quote us on that. I don't know. I think I kind of treat them like my guides. So they are. I say hello, you know, I send them gifts, I send them gratitude. I ask for their healing when I want it, you know, now that I've kind of established a connection. So yeah. What else do I do? I mean, I haven't done those groups yet where you sit around and contact them, but that is definitely next.
It's coming. That's coming.
Yeah.
I have a guide I have several ET guides, but one of them he came forward and said that you can call on him if you want help communicating with them. He's a mantis being, and according to my Akashic mentor, mantis beings are they're like air traffic control, is what he's telling me, for the stratosphere. Like they're the gatekeepers. They allow beings in, allow them to leave. So like his name is Placidus, and you can ask him if you want to come forward. He says if you're serious about it, otherwise he's busy.
Yeah.
But if you're serious about it and you're like, yes, I would like to meet my star family, like Placidus said that he would come forward and help facilitate that contact.
So how does one hook up with Placidus and meet their star family? Like if you've never done this before, how do you do that?
The simplest way to say is through meditation. Like
Okay.
sit in meditation, get grounded, get centered in your body, call in your guides, call in your protections, set your boundaries. And then in working with any being, literally just call their energy forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not making it up. You're really not making it up. You might think like, oh, my imagination is like, so it's off the chain, but no, like this is actually happening. You might also have a great imagination.
Yeah. The better your imagination, the better you are at channeling.
Exactly.
Because it uses that realm of pictures and words and stories and everything and connection spaces that happen in that to kind of like translate. It is like a layered approach, right? When I hear things, I don't actually hear it in my physical ear.
Right.
Thank God.
Right.
No, thank you. That's our next mug. No, thank you.
That's our next mug.
Okay. But like, how do you know it's them? How do you know it's going to be safe? Like, how do you know, like, yeah, how do you trust that?
I think intention is everything. So if you're setting the intention that like all of the communication that I am open to receiving is only of my highest and greatest good, like say that in your head, say that out loud, and then trust that like that's what's going to come through. And if any fears come up, like those are your own conditioned fears around receiving, communicating, all of that.
I cannot tell you how powerful intention is. Intention is the base for all shamanic work. Like everything is intention.
Mm-hmm.
It's the base of all yogic work, right? It's the base of, I would say, almost all spiritual work. Like
my work.
What is your intention? Yeah. What are you doing here? Why are you here? And when you can connect to that energy and set that course, it's in your field. If you don't set an intention, who knows? You can just go with the wind and go with the day. That's fine too. But when you want to do specific work, when you want to call in, what's his name again? Placidus. We're going to put that in the notes because, we want you to remember, don't call up his brother, Placidus. You can't spell that.
I can't spell that.
Placidus.
Yeah.
But like, yes, it's like you call in these energies and, I think too, sometimes like when I've done work, I've gotten, I remember one of my guides is Peter Pan. Nice. And I was like, I am for sure making this up, for sure. Why Peter Pan? And then I like did this research about Peter Pan and like his brother died when he was young. And it was like all this connection to spirit babies. Like it was so wild, like this whole story. And I was like, oh yeah. Okay. Like that makes sense. So when you get guides or you see aliens, you get connections, like part of it is to like research and to look into, and in that journey, I think too, more information comes out about them.
Yeah.
My guides are also just saying like, we need to do a lot of writing about them for a modern audience. Like we need to, like you said, like stuff from the 90s and like some of the books that I use are from the like early 2000s, but they're not equipped for the modern version of seekers is what they're showing me.
Yeah.
So I guess Natalie and I'm going to write some books, you guys.
Yeah, I've already been told that. I just been like resisting it in my records.
Same.
They showed me in my records that I'm supposed to be writing these books. My Akashic teacher, if she ever listens to this, she's gonna be like, why haven't you fucking started on these books yet? But it's like chicken soup for the soul, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's like chicken soup for the Pleiadian soul. It's like basically a guide to star families is what I'm supposed to be writing. And I just haven't started it yet.
It's actually vegan chicken. It's vegan chicken noodle soup, gluten-free.
It's actually, for the soul. It's conceptual chicken for the soul.
Organic. Conceptual chicken. I love that. Oh my God. How good does that sound though? Right? Like I think we need some chicken noodle soup for alien souls.
For your little alien soul.
And I would say, like, if you feel like the black sheep of your family, if you feel like, who are these people when you look at your family, you might be an alien.
You really might. They're also aliens.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think I've mentioned her before, but really follow Elizabeth April. Her whole shtick is aliens, and it just makes it so approachable.
Yeah.
That's her whole platform.
Anything that like excites you or interests you, go follow somebody that's like connecting and doing with it, because it'll give you a lot more resources and information about those specific realms, right? Like my realm is the babies, and I know a lot about them, and and hers is the aliens, right? It's like we have our specialties.
Yeah, we do have specialties. We're specialized spiritual
What's
workers.
yours? What would you say your specialty is?
I guess it's the Akashic records. I don't have like a corner that I cover.
I have the whole goddamn table.
I don't have a beat. Yeah.
What about manifestation though? Do you think that's associated with the records?
I think it can be when we're talking about timelines and stuff. So maybe some manifestations, some Akashic records.
Some aliens. Come on.
Yeah, some aliens. I work with aliens in the records.
In my phone, I gave Natalie the alien emoji.
I love it so much.
When she calls or when she texts, and then on the other side of her name is the moon. Only special people get little emojis in my phone. Is that right? True?
So much. Yes.
So cute. And then it's funny because I have another friend that I gave her the lightning bolts because she's like very energetic. But then like when the phone says that they're calling, it's like Colleen, Holly, lightning bolts, Holly, or whatever energy charge. It's really funny. But maybe I better be like Colleen, alien, Natalie.
Yes, it's me.
Call that Natalie. Call the alien one.
Yeah, call her.
Do you like hang out with your alien guides a lot? Do you work with them a lot?
So the Akashic records are actually held in the Pleiades star systems. Like the Pleiadians are kind of like the lords of the records. So I hang out with Pleiadians a lot. Yeah.
The lords.
The lords.
Oh, was that like a Lord of the Rings thing?
It could be. I watched The Desolation of Smaug recently. I need to rewatch those. I really like those movies because we're weird. Once again, we're not here to be normal.
I mean, I love that dragon. And I used to work for a video game magazine, and I was trying to find like the correct term for a dragon. Like, do we call it a reptile? Do we call it a mammal? I think the author was calling it a mammal. And I was like, here's my experience with dragons and what I know about dragons. And they're like, Jessica, it's a dragon. I'm like, yeah, but like, they don't really like to be called reptiles because they're really not,
they're conscious,
far advanced beyond that.
Speaking of reptiles.
Oh.
Going down just a little bit of a tangent. Do you think dinosaurs had feathers?
100%.
Right?
I have birds. When I slow down my birds tweet, it's like, they walk like raptors.
Well,
basically,
there's a
they would be cold.
Like T-Rex, right? The small arms. That's because they were wings.
Oh, I could see that.
Right?
I could see that. Yeah. 100%. And we don't know what they look like. And there have been those cool new images with the birds, with the dinosaurs with feathers. And it makes much more sense because again, if they didn't have feathers and we don't know what their skin was like. We are just assuming based on the bone structure. Exactly. So I think they had feathers. I hope they can maybe find some cool feather things in there, see, also paleontologist was like one of my things to be as a kid, thanks to like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah.
Thanks, Brendan Fraser.
But also, yeah, exactly. And Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of also was like, do I want to like spend 3 years digging out some bones? I don't know.
That sounds tedious for me personally. I like to have the ideas and then send other people off on the mission.
Same.
Projector shit.
I'm an idea woman.
That's projector. That's a complete projector thing.
We are projectors. We're like, just here's the cool thing. Go do it.
Yeah.
Tell me how it went.
Run with it. I'm not going to be that one.
Oh, I love it.
Tell us if you think dinosaurs had feathers or not. I'd be very curious to see who agrees.
Okay, but I thought you were going to go in a totally different tangent, which is about the reptilian race. What about them?
Oh, okay. So reptilians.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I know.
I could go down like an entire rabbit hole about reptilians because like they are 4D beings.
Mm-hmm.
They are lower vibrational technically beings, but there are still some, according to Elizabeth April, that are becoming more conscious and higher dimensional and like want to break out of that shadowy. They look exactly like you think they look like, scary reptiles.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently there's like tunnels all over our planet, like everywhere there's tunnels, which is why there are national parks and why so many people disappear in national parks. If you've ever looked at a map of like the tunnel entrances in the world, or in like just say the United States, like tunnel entrances, it lines up with like the most amount of missing people from national parks.
Oh my God.
I know.
Are the reptilians like eating them? Is that what we're saying?
I don't really know what happens to them, but I have heard that reptilians like live in the tunnels. So
see, this is where I'm like, okay, let's go to find these tunnels.
I don't want to go.
I do. I so do.
I'm gonna have a t-shirt made.
See an alien.
I'm gonna have a t-shirt made that says 5D and up. Like none of that 4D scary trying to scare me. No.
I'm just so curious. I really am. I think that's a big thing of being like who I am and a light worker is like, I'm just so curious of like, hey, where are you from? How'd you get here? What's your alien life like? You know, yeah. How are the tunnels?
Who's your star family? Where did you come from?
Okay. I love it.
Okay. Now that we've talked, I think we've exhausted aliens for now. More will come.
Yes.
Because we can't help ourselves. Do you want to do the honors of announcing our giveaway winners?
I do. So we looked long and hard we had a lot of requirements and we appreciate those. And we learned some stuff along the way, but you liked our post, you invited a friend in, you shared it, you left us reviews, and we're just so eternally grateful. That's what we want to say is just thank you. And you can still do that outside of the contest.
Please do.
You'll be rewarded in other ways. But our first winner is Care.
This will be announced on Instagram Sunday night. We'll go and we're recording this on Friday, I should say. So this is coming out Monday. So you might already know that you have one by the time that this comes out. But congratulations, Care.
Woo, woo. And then number 2, so we have 2 mugs because that's like how we roll, is Mallory. Woo! That's my sound effects.
I love it.
And we know both of these lovely people and we adore them. And we're so excited that they're going to have mugs with us. Mine's still on my altar. You can see it. And I've got to now get to the post office and send them out. I also made some rose flower essence. And so I'm going to give in a little extra surprise that's going in there, and some beautiful rose quartz that have been charged in this Lionsgate energy. And I think I know both of these people, they are doing some amazing things. So this is going to good people, some good powerhouse people who are going to just be right there with us, drinking our Here for the Weird coffee and matcha.
Oh, I love it so much. And then whenever you guys get it, if you're listening to it, like snap a photo, tag us in it. I want to see you with your mug whenever you get it.
Yes. And tell us what you're putting in there.
Yeah. Especially
whatever it is.
Yeah.
I love that one where they're like things I learned in the pandemic, putting booze in my coffee cup and then blowing on it like it's hot. Oh God. Oh, whatever it takes, people, whatever it takes.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So congratulations to our giveaway winners. Yes. Again, we would love to keep getting reviews. So don't stop now. And then I don't exactly know what we're talking about. Oh, next week we're going to talk about intuition.
Oh yeah.
So stay tuned for that. We have a lot of hot tips.
Yes. And why are we talking about that next week?
Oh, girl, I got a course coming out.
Tell us about it.
I got a
give us a little teaser.
I'll tease it next week, but I will say you don't want to miss it. Like I have a super secret trick that I teach in the course, and I'm excited to divulge that to you.
There she goes with that marketing talk.
Oh, there it is.
That's tantalizing, selling that sizzle. Don't you want to know what that is?
You will.
We can't give it all away, people.
No. So come back next week. Join us. We're going to get a little bit more intuitive. And that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for joining. Let us know if aliens come abduct you.
Yes. Yeah, if you have alien abduction stories, if you love aliens, if you like do not believe in aliens, let us know either way.
Yeah, please tell us. I want to know. All right.
Bye.
Bye for now.